Hey there, hey there, hey there. It's your girl Morticia Sherman, the unapologetic therapist. Okay, my hair just really want to do its own thing. Thank you for joining us live today. I'm so excited about what's going on and the things that are happening in the community. Of course, June is Men Mental Health Month. Let's jump over the stigma barrier that's causing us to have that divided line on mental health and mental health awareness when it comes to the community, especially the Black and Brown community. To all my viewers, to everyone who has been watching me live since October. I missed you guys on last I missed you guys on last week. Of course, y'all know my family. When it comes to family is my first ministry. When it comes to taking care of my loved ones, taking care of myself, seeing to it that everybody is well and okay. Let me go into understanding why this platform was created. For those who are just joining in, those who are listening in live, those who are listening in through YouTube, Facebook, all social media platforms to which I am on as the unapologetic therapist, MS, or the Real Talk, Morticia on Twitter. Why this platform was created, and I can't help but to say it over and over again, is for you, the viewer, for you, the individual, for you, the caregiver, for you, the person who's taking care of a loved one or someone who's dealing with a mental health illness. May they be young, may they be younger, may they be middle aged, may they be my seasonal citizens, which I do love my seasonal citizens when it comes to mental health. A lot of times, the stories that they tell, they will go far back into their past and bring you to their current. And just the information, the word of God says the elders will bring in wisdom, and they are to provide wisdom for the younger ones. Well, for me, I love to sit around and talk to my seasonal citizens because they do have a whole lot to talk about, and I, for one, love to listen. So, ladies and gentlemen, my esteemed guests, supporters, mental health awareness, minorities, majorities, black and white, brown and yellow, melanin, chocolate, deep chocolate, my black and brown culture community. You know, every time when I come on this podcast on a Wednesday, it is really to enlighten you, to educate you, to have you to the point where you're wanting to talk more about mental health. Even if it's just the smaller things of you being sad, and nothing's really small in mental health, you want to have those open conversations, those deep conversations. Well, I'm coming before you because it's a sense of urgency. And my passion may not be your passion. My thoughts may not be your thoughts. My ways of how I handle mental health may not be your ways. That's why I'm unapologetic, because I'm at the forefront of not wanting us to suffer anymore when it comes to stigma, stereotypes, generational behaviors, things that are going on that we are not fully aware, or we have some idea but don't know where to ask those questions and who to talk to. But mental health is a critical situation. We also know that we heard that the president did cut the budget for a lot of things that are going on when it comes to the economy, and mental health was one of them. So, your mental health and your mental well being, like I said, every Wednesday, you get me for a full hour, 45 minutes to an hour. Ask your questions, go live with me on Facebook, go live with me on social media platforms. DM me, send me questions, send me things that you want to know, that you have questions about. But of course, we know this is June. Last month was May. May was Mother's Day, and May was also Mental Health Awareness Month. But when I come before you to the community, when I'm talking about mental health and mental health awareness, I'm not coming at you for the financial aspect. I'm coming at you for education. It's good that if you want to support You do have an opportunity to support. Of course, we're going to have our donation button on there, and our donation starts as low as $5. And what it is that I'm constantly seeing people in the community who are dealing with mental health and mental health illness. I'm constantly dealing with families who have someone who needs services that sometimes they don't always get. But keep your girl prayed up, because my heart is for the community, and my heart for 2025 and going forward is I want to be able to connect, collaborate, and get with individuals who see the true need and the true purpose of what's going on out here in the community for mental health, and be able to provide a better service. Now, I do have some individuals that's going to pop in a little later, talking about what do they have to provide for the community. But the mental health disparities among us, among the minorities, are a pressing concern that cannot be ignored any longer. I've worked in this industry for over 11 plus years. I started off as a mental health tech. Now I have my license, and your girl finna jump hoops right now. I have a year, I believe, left to finish my PhD. And like I say every time when I talk to you, it's not about you knowing what's going on in the books. I'm learning the books, but I'm coming to bring you the experience of what's going on out here. And I was asked not too long ago, what was my dissertation about? And my dissertation, you would not believe, is just this: the unapologetic therapist jumping in and talking about the things that are going on in the community that we as individuals we see, but we don't know how to respond, how to ask the questions, how to really help our loved ones, our friends, our families, our foes on what it is that they're dealing with. Now, when I say disparities, and you all know that a while ago I talked about understanding what stereotype was, what stigma was, but the disparities are, it's a lot of us out here, and we can only service so many, but then there's huge corporations that are out here, and they can only help so many, and it's a revolving door. The revolving door is I go, I get the help, but then what is the return investment of what's going on? Well, your unapologetic therapist is talking about the return. Yeah, you can go to the doctor, get the medication, you can go see a therapist. Yeah, you can go and do all these community things, but I'm going to hold you accountable. I'm all about the accountability of you having that medication, making sure you're doing it if you're taking medication. Of course, you know I'm holistic. I'm trying to do everything before you get to that medical side. But what is the return of your invested time being client, caregiver, family foe, after that individual has gone to a facility and stayed for anywhere from 7 to 14 days if it's a private hospital and they're not on their medication, or a state facility, or a residential treatment center, because now more than ever they're popping up all over the place. Residential treatment centers are popping up all over the place, and we know that. But what do we do to make sure that that revolving door is not happening? And if you want to look at it statistically, it's more men. Women are getting the service, true enough. But when I want to talk about men and mental health this month, men are now beginning to talk, but are we really listening? Men are now beginning to talk more about their mental health and what is going on, but are we as a community, are we really listening, or is it just them having conversation and we all, yeah, we already know he did that, or yeah, we already know. Men are really now coming to the forefront, and that's why when I talk about this event that's going on, that's happening on July 19th, um, the mental health symposium, the Tonight is the Night mental health symposium. I know I made this statement the last time I was on my podcast, and I'm true to it. I'm unapologetic about it. I want you to hear the man side. Women talk about it all the time. Women talk about domestic abuse. They talk about bad relationships. They talk about heartbreak. They talk about all these other things. But have you ever heard the male side and really had a full understanding of what was going on? Sometimes men grow up and they be in households where they see their dad do things to the mom, or they see their dad do things to the girlfriend, or they see their dad doing things and they think it's a behavior. And your environment can create your behavior. And they take that behavior and they take that into other relationships without properly processing that and knowing that that is not correct behavior to be had. Why would you put your hands on a woman, but you won't put your hands on a man? Come on, let's be serious about it. Or why would you feel like it's okay to touch a young lady when you have a, a child, when you have a grown woman in front of you? What excuse could you give me for that? A lot of times these are generational learned behavior. Great grandpa did it, grandpa did it, grandpa now do it, son is doing it. Next, it needs to stop. These generational habits need to stop, because as long as they continue to go on, it's going to be a vicious cycle. So men are now stepping up and saying, hey, you know, I don't like this. And I didn't like this feeling that I was having. And, when I was a kid, someone did touch me inappropriately and it didn't feel right. But then who do I talk to and who do I tell? And again, when we talk about generational stuff and we talk about generational barriers, generational stigmas, generational stereotypes, you're going to see majority of it. And I have to say it, ladies, it is men. Majority of the stuff that has happened to men, but they are so silent about it because we're so vocal about things that has happened to us. But a man is not going to sit up there and tell you, I was touched inappropriately by a man, or I was touched inappropriately by my dad, my brother, my cousin, and these being men, because that's embarrassing, you know. And it's like, how do I talk about an embarrassing situation without feeling like I'm, being looked at or shunned or talked down on? And women will say, oh, I was molested. Oh, this happened. I was raped. I was beat. I was abused. But men go through domestic abuse as well. Men have had situations where, things have happened and the rape could have not, sometimes it's a woman, sometimes it's guys. So let's have real conversation. Let's have true conversation. And that's why this event is going on. So we can have open public conversation. And really, you don't even have to tell your story there. There's going to be an event called Dear Me. Then there's also going to be a event activity that was, excuse me, an activity that's called Dear Me. There's also going to be an activity called painting my trauma on a canvas. And that is my baby. I love that because being so artsy myself, I love art. And excuse me, I had some I had some pineapples and some grapefruit, which I love. But the painting my trauma on a canvas it tells a story on the canvas of how you're feeling at that time and how that trauma affected you. It's not to be judged, it's not to be anything. It's almost like meditation but on a canvas. It's almost like meditation, but you're painting, you're using strokes, your own thoughts, your own colors, how you feel, how you see this thing. And I love doing that because I like painting on a canvas. I have so many canvases, so many paint stands and whatnot, because it allows me the freedom to talk about and to express what it is that I'm growing through. Now, I'm going to bring up these two events that are going on. Oh, also, if you didn't see it, join us for the Tonight is the Night Mental Health Awareness that's happening July 19th from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. at Greater Grace Church. 12121 Veterans Memorial Drive, building number 5. We have some amazing vendors that are going to be there. We have amazing speakers that are going to be there. there's this company, and I had an opportunity to meet her at an art show. And the background is called A Bold Story. And A Bold Story never ends, is what it's called. And A Bold Story, I had an opportunity to meet this mom. And it was about a young man who committed suicide. And that is a silent killer. Y'all think diabetes and high blood pressure and all this, but when it comes to men, man, mental health is a silent killer because they're saying, I can't deal with this and I have nobody to talk to and I have no outlet, and who would understand what I'm feeling at this time, and who can I really best express what's going on in that. Hey, Lakeithia, thank you. Good afternoon to you. But when it comes to a man expressing mental health and not having an outlet to talk to, yeah, you can go to the barbershop. And I talked about this the last time I was on the podcast, that men go to the barbershop and we think as women that they're talking about us at the barbershop. No, they're not. It's conversation, it's general conversation, talking about things that they like to do. Maybe cars, basketball, football, soccer, whichever one they want to talk about. And there may be a snippet in there from some guy who really just want to talk about a woman, but a lot of times they shut that down and they start talking about, things that they really enjoy that is a stress relief for them, but it's really not giving them that platform to talk about their mental health and what's going on at home, and how can they find a safe space to be able to talk about, what's bothering them the most. If they're taking care of their mom, if they're taking care of their dad, if they're taking care of a loved one, and always being seen as a strong person. We as women, we get told, oh, you're so strong. But then when you tell a man he's strong, he thinks he has to take on that. I'm Superman. I have to put on this cape. But like I said, sometimes we like to see you as Clark Kent. You don't always have to be Superman and put on a cape for everything. So if you know of any kid, any family that has young men or young women in the Acres Home area, this group, which is called WIPO, RIPO, I mean, or WIPO, excuse me, WIPO is youth development. They're doing this every Monday, Wednesday, Friday in the community at DeSoto Park, where they're talking about character development, communication skills. And I, for one, was to be there for mental health and mental health wellness. Share this information. You can find this on all my social media pages. This young man is out here in the community talking to these kids, and it's also about breaking away from picking up a gun and shooting or harming someone. So with that, you can also send your kids there. You want your kids to have something to do for the summer. If you're in the Acres Home area, go there. It's 2 hours of communication, education. And also, if your kid loves to play basketball, they're doing basketball for 2 hours as well, so they can sharpen and hone in on their skills. This young man played basketball before he was in an auto accident that caused him to lose the mobility of his legs. And I had an opportunity to meet him, and Isaiah is such a great person. And he has a real heart for the community and what it is for all of us in the Black and brown culture. We want to reach out to the community, but do the community really want to reach out to us? So stop being silent, suffering in silence, and stop being a gatekeeper. Share this information. Also, the Critical Show, they are hosting a food drive. So Kids Summer Food Drive. Of course, it's the same days that I'm hosting my event. My event is from 9 to 5. But if you're in the Curry Road area, I need to slow it down. Curry Road area, you and your kids can stop by for games, free haircuts, hair braids to get your kids ready for school. So school is giving, summertime is not like it was back in the days when we were in summer, and we can turn around and be out school for a little bit more than 2 months. So now they're out in May and back in August. So July 19th at 3 p.m. Stop by if you're not at my event from 9 to 5, and you can stop by and be a part of that. Another one of our amazing sponsors. I love and I love ABA therapy for kids. And ABA therapy, mostly when I talk to parents who have kids with autism, I have been encountering a whole lot of companies who are doing this, but I love my smaller companies because they really can put a real good love, great love into these kids when it comes to autism. This is one of our sponsors. And one of our vendors, excuse me, at our event, Texas ABA Center, Proven Autism Care. I had a great time meeting them, and I hope to bring them on the show so they can talk more about the services that they provide for our kids with autism. And then there's another vendor. I'm waiting on them for some more information. So, with that, just know that men and mental health is just as important today as it was yesterday, as it is tomorrow, as it is every month. Mental health is celebrated every month, even though every month has a different topic when it comes to mental health. So let's jump over the stigma that men do not need the care when it comes to their mental health and mental health awareness. Um, they are really the forefront. And like I said, we can go biblical with it because a lot of God's um, front runners in the Bible, when they were men, they were dealing with mental health and mental health issues. Um, and with that was, if you want to know more about that, you can go back to when I talked about, the church in mental health, faith, and the mindset. So your support is really needed, and it can be monetary, it can be voluntary, it can be your time, your effort, and just sharing. It's free to share this podcast. It's free to share the information that's on there. It's free for you just to share whatever it is that you need to share about what I'm doing, the unapologetic therapist. Of course, my website is whyhecan't.com. You can share that information. You can share the podcast. You can share my Facebook. It's all free. And I do the same for others. So without further ado, my special guest has arrived. I'm so excited about this person. This person is actually going to be, he's a part of the Tonight is the Night Mental Health Symposium. Actually, it was him and another one of my brother comedians that came up with this name for this symposium. And my other brother is cousin Al, and we were all sitting up there talking about this, and they just said, because we was talking about the song by what's her name, the one who sings Tonight is the Night. Yeah, we played that as a woulda, shoulda, coulda song, and in that they was like, you should name your event Tonight is the Night. So without further ado, I have my brother. I'm gonna go ahead and pull him on stage.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
Come on, bro, come on. Let me put you
What's
in.
going on? How you doing? How you doing? Woo! What's
Who is
going
that?
on?
It's that big to the skinny.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Thank you for joining in, bro. You have
Oh
been
yeah.
doing such an amazing job. I've been watching you, seeing how great you've been doing your comedy shows. Of course, when you show me, I talk about it. Um, just from the GCE family,
Mhm.
whenever something's going on from you, whenever something's going on from Yielded, whenever something's going on from Gospel Comedy Entertainment, I make sure that I tell people about what's going on because, of course, I was a part of the Save This Silly Morning Show family for quite some time. So
Oh yeah.
introduce yourself, tell the people, about you.
Yeah, I'm comedian Big Skinny, man. I'm here in Houston, Texas, man, and I will be part of that symposium on July the 19th, man. We gonna be there. So, you guys ought to come out, man, and have a good time and laugh, man. We're
Yeah.
talking about mental health and how important that is, especially for us, so Man, it's gonna be a great time. I can't wait to get out and share some laughter with the world. They can see, how I be thinking, and because we all deal with it in some form of fashion, So I think it's good. It's great, But with me though, I kind of share it through laughter,
Yeah.
But it be some real stuff though. Yeah. It's just, sometimes because you gotta laugh at a lot of things that go on in life, man.
Hmm.
Yeah, I feel like you really have to laugh at it and keep going, especially the things that are out of your control. So I'm very excited for that, man, and we're gonna have a great time.
Yeah, and that's what I'm expecting because, again, like you said, laughter is good. And we talk about laughter being a part of good medicine. And you do have to laugh at certain things when
Yeah,
you're in life, because if you take everything for serious, that really
yeah,
is going to cause you to overthink, for one,
yeah,
and then it's going to cause you to spiral in certain cases
yes,
mentally. But
yes,
I like how
yes.
everybody don't see that when you go across or you come across something in life, especially when you working in your craft.
Mm-hmm.
And comedy is your craft.
That's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
comedy is your craft. My craft is being unapologetic and flipping rugs over, not tables like Jesus, but
Yeah,
flipping rugs over
yeah,
so people can get their healing. But I'll throw a little laughter in there, and I told you I'm not a comedian. I'll throw some laughter in there.
yeah. You're a
But
little part-time comedian yourself, because you be having me cracking up sometimes.
so how do you process your day to day when it comes to you and your mental health, when it comes to you and comedy? How do you process your day to day?
Well, it's sort of like, because things do get serious, it is real, but it's like, I don't know if I was like just been like this all my life, because when I think back, it's like this how I always cope with life. Like I think of something funny, and it actually helps me process a lot of things, for me, because man, some of that stuff it be kind of heavy, and if
Mhm.
I could just laugh it off, and this, and it by laughing, it gives you time to think, where you won't, act so suddenly on certain things, and you can think things through, see the good, the bad, and all that about the situation or whatever. But I love to laugh, and now that I'm a comedian and taking it serious, I understand, like anything I see, it can be, like it's straight comedy.
Yeah.
It's funny, but it's real. And now that I know, that I'm not the only one that deal with this. It's a lot of relatable topics. You know what I'm saying? So, and it also helps shed lights on the next person to, like, maybe laugh at it, get a laugh about something that's relatable to them or something in their lives.
Yeah. Yeah. And
So,
that's a good thing the way you see that, because I remember seeing you for the first time.
no, yeah.
Oh man, I remember seeing you
Oh,
the first time, and it's so funny how you can meet people and that genuine connection happen.
right,
And
right, right.
it was so funny because I think when I came to you, I cracked up a joke, and you was like, "Man, you funny." And
Yeah, yeah,
man,
yeah,
you funny. And it was like,
yeah.
and I think he was like a part of your team. And he was
Hmm.
like, Morticia really funny on the cool. She don't know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He said it to me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because I
yeah.
think
Nah, she really funny.
right, because I think I was sitting up there
Yeah.
and made a song about a Coke soda water because I
Oh
wanted some
yeah,
Coke. So
yeah. I ain't just be making up stuff, rolling with it, man. But I love it, man. It's just a part of my everyday life to just shed laughter, being just open and bringing humor to a lot of situations, because we really need it. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes, man, situations can get to you real close, and it could be so heavy on you, man. Like you said earlier, like you can spiral out, man, and go crazy. And it's some stuff not even worth that, though.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like, it's so much that laughter can do to protect you.
Hmm.
It can really keep you out of trouble, because, man, you be having some heavy thoughts, man. You be thinking of some dangerous things you might want to do or say, and it can really cost you a lot. So by laughing at it, it gives you time to, calm down and actually see your situation for what it's worth.
Yeah.
And you can just sit there and know yourself, like, is it really worth this or not? So that's usually my first thing I do. That's my go-to thing is to laugh, man.
Yeah, it's almost like the Matrix when Morpheus said the green or the blue pill, and it's like
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
either I calm down or state hospital. Which one do I want?
yeah,
I'm gonna know.
yeah, yeah,
Either I can act up or I can stay right. So
yeah.
you like I'm gonna
One
act
or the
up and
other.
I'll deal with the consequences later. So
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, I love it. I love it. Yeah,
and I know when you go inside of places, because I do this too. When we go somewhere, we always say you can't make that stuff up, especially when it comes to
right.
mental health. And
Yeah.
you're in there and people start saying stuff, and you're like, you can't make this stuff up. And I
Yeah.
know for a comedian sitting inside of a conversation with, even if you sat in a conversation with a therapist and a client, that's
Mm-hmm.
automatically some
Yeah.
some takeaway stuff that you can talk about in a
Oh
comedy show. And I'm
man,
like,
it is. It is. Man, listen, let me tell you something. I was speaking with a therapist, man, and I didn't realize a lot of things, and when they get to talking, you just start discovering stuff about yourself.
yeah,
And I actually thought about this, and I was like, man, I just want to, because every now and then I'll take me a drink, and do this and that. And when she just got to talking to me, and she was like, a lot of the stuff come from childhood or when you get around certain family members, like it could just strike up nerves. And man, I was wondering, like, man, I was in a group chat sharing some positive information with my family about a show or opportunity I got, and they were all liking my comments, congratulating. And my sister came in and she just immediately put the champagne bottles up. And I'm like, did that just trigger me to drink today? You know, I'm like, man, I'm just trying to I'm finding all my triggers because I wasn't even thinking about none of this.
I hope
But you
not.
just never know what could trigger you.
But see, that's the thing, and I have to give this shout out. Thank you, Sharita. I think it's Sharita Johnson. Their company is one of the vendors there, the ABA, and talking
Yeah,
about autism with kids, and that is a heart for me when I see parents who are struggling with kids who are younger who don't know about autism and they need that extra support. And I love small companies. Of course, there are huge
yeah,
companies right here, and I say huger companies are more to me number based when you have those smaller companies that are more personable. But back to the thing that you was talking about and the triggers. So I made this statement quite some time ago that different people use different statements. So for therapists,
hmm,
they say triggers and coping skills. When it comes to a life coach, they say red flags and all this other stuff.
hmm,
Know who you're talking to and know where you're going. And I always make the statement too whenever I talk about it. I respect and I ask all of our life coaches who are listening in, when you're doing life coaching, make sure that you have that person have a therapist. And also if they don't, collaborate with one of us. So when they go inside of that rabbit hole and you can't pull them out of it,
yeah.
therapist to help them come out of that rabbit hole. Now I gotta go back. When you was talking about triggers, I gotta go back to that time when and I hope you're still doing that. Are you still working on your movie? And I said I was gonna sit there and be the therapist on your movie.
And you know what? I actually am. And I've been trying to, like, come together with some more resources. I've got one and two, and it's a lengthy project. You know what I'm saying? It's coming slow, but I won't give up on it, and I'm gonna do it. And by me being here in the new city, you just trying to get out and find stuff, and a lot of stuff be hard, especially when you're doing your everyday life as well.
Mm-hmm.
So and it's one of those things like, how sometimes you be overthinking because you want it to be so perfect,
Yeah,
and you
yeah,
don't want to rush through certain things. You want to make sure that you're actually, where people could like visualize the point that you're trying to make and stuff like that. So, oh yeah, most definitely.
And
It's something I could never give up on.
and the thing of it is, I remember you telling me I'm on Tubi. So when I saw your character on Tubi, I was like, that fits him very well,
Oh
being
yeah, oh
Indian.
yeah, yeah. And then
Yeah,
a lot of times you just, when you kind of like throw yourself out there, you never know how good you can be at certain things. You just have to try it.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and that's been a good thing, within me and in my career with doing stuff. It's like, I'm open to a lot.
Hmm.
Even like the mental health show, and I'm like, I really can talk about this stuff because I got a lot of jokes that can fit this. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
some of them I've told, some of them I have been able to tell, because we all struggle with something,
Yes.
within our everyday personal life. And it's a lot of things I say when I'm walking around the house that's super hilarious, but nobody never hears it. And
Hmm.
I've been writing them down. And I said, this is it. And sometimes I just be like, man, thank you, Lord, that give me a platform where I feel I can say these things. You know what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
it fits the setting. You
Yeah.
know,
And that's
yeah,
good. That's good because you get that good material. And like for me, even with being a mental health professional, being a therapist, I can walk away with a lot of things. Like I said, I'm not a comedian, but
yeah,
I see a lot of stuff, and I'm like, I know you just didn't say that because if I was a comedian,
yeah,
I would
yeah,
be on here
yeah,
live, just own it.
yeah,
But
yeah.
again, we do need to laugh more
We
because
do.
laughter actually helps with the dopamine in our brains. It actually helps,
Yeah.
with those neurology things. Laughter can change a whole response. And that's why, and I'm gonna
Right.
say it like this. I'm gonna say it like this. When you see somebody who you claim, and I'm doing rabbit ears, when
Yeah.
you see somebody walking down the street and they talking to themselves and they're laughing,
Yeah.
that means they
Yeah.
have an inside joke within themselves and they're
Right.
processing
Right.
whatever their mental health is at
Right.
the time. They're not crazy. And
No, they're not. They're
right.
not. Because when you think about it, we all do it.
Yeah.
You know, we
Yeah.
all do it. And sometimes, even when you're preparing for things, you have to talk to yourself.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to find that delivery, the way you're gonna deliver things and all of that. So yeah, we all do it. I don't say that though. I don't never look at them like, they're crazy or not, because it's very much necessary.
And for those of y'all who are listening, I give you permission to talk back to yourself because you do it when you write it. So
Yeah.
when you're
I
sitting up there,
mean,
you having
we
those
do it anyway. You ain't never asked yourself like, what I'm gonna eat today? Nah, I don't want that. Hey, we
exactly,
do it anyway.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But people just put these labels on things to
man.
make you seem so crazy. And it's like, is this why you calling me crazy? Because I'm doing this?
Yeah,
You know?
I tell them go pull it up in the dictionary and define it.
Right. Right.
Tell them what the
Yeah,
dictionary
they don't
says.
want to be fat checked. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
But man, it's good to be a part of this though, man, and I absolutely love it because like I said, we all struggle with something within, but whether for me, you be wondering like, oh, I wish I was a little taller, I wish I was shorter, I could do this or that, and that can weigh in on you,
it can.
and nobody else may never know it, but it can really weigh in on you.
And we talk about that in mental health. It's called body image. You're
Yeah,
talking about your body image and what you don't like about yourself and what you don't like about yourself. Others may like about you, but again,
right.
we looking at the mirror and we are our own worst critics. Like I had somebody walk up to me and was like, "How tall are you?" I said, "I'm 5'7". And I love my 5'7" stature. I don't want to be
Yeah,
taller. I don't want to be shorter. I love my five.
yeah. Yeah, and even for me, I used to be like, wow, I'm not taller. Cause see, my mom is 5'7". I'm
Yeah.
5'7", but my dad is like 6'3", and I'll be like, God, didn't take after him. You know what I'm saying? Like, at least put me in the middle. Maybe if I could have been 5, 10, or
Yeah,
11 or something. I'm like, this is crazy. Like me and all my brothers, all my siblings,
you're your
we
height
like the
for a
same
reason.
height. Maybe
Yeah, y'all height for a reason. Because I think if God would have made you any taller, your head be swollen. If you made you any shorter,
but and you're right. You might be right though.
loosen up that
Cause
thing.
I said I used to struggle with that like early on, and then I said, you know what? Now I just got me a short woman. Now I feel so tall.
Ooh, I'm not with you today. I'm not with you.
Hey, but sometimes like you really gotta like. I think your perspectives on things is what make you like that though. Like
Mhm,
if you just change the narrative of it, change how you see things, man,
mhm.
you'll feel a whole lot better though.
So we have one of our listeners, and she was saying she grew up in a family with aunts and uncles who had mental health issues, and it uh, always became the norm. And that's what we're talking about. We're talking
Yeah,
about mental health and making it a normal conversation, but
right.
also understanding that those individuals. I had to. I have to say this. I had a a conversation, and the conversation was talking about stability and normalizing. And I said, for me, normalizing is those who know that they have a mental health disorder. They know that they need the medication, or they know that they have mental health issues. The ones who want stability are the ones who are in denial, because
Mm,
they sit there and they think about it, and it's like, ain't nothing wrong with me. There's
yeah,
nothing wrong with me at all. Oh no, I'm not depressed. What is depression? But when you got someone who can sit there and say, you know what, I'm stressed. I'm having, I don't want to be bothered today. I need to go and sit in the dark and just gather my thoughts. And I had to, I even had to tell my dad today, don't go sit with your thoughts, because we overthink stuff and then stuff starts happening.
yeah.
But there's a difference. And I also had to break it down when I trained, and when I was doing training while I was in the mental health clinic, the private sector. And I was doing training because I was the court liaison and the patient advocate. So when I would go and new hires would come, I would always tell them, say what you mean and mean what you say to these clients, because they understand when you're forthcoming, then
Hmm.
sugarcoat stuff for them, because they know if you come and you they know they can get over on you. But when you
Yeah. Oh
come,
yeah.
yeah, I know what's going on, but we gonna get this done. And let me tell you, I had individuals that be like, Miss Morticia not here this weekend, but when she come Monday, you better be on point. And she come
Yeah.
here. She ain't playing with you.
Oh
She on
man.
point. I
Yeah.
need Morticia. Now you don't want to do that
Hmm.
because she gonna call you out. But I did
Yeah.
it, and I would always tell them I did it out of love, because a lot of
Hmm.
times with baby fi. Oh, don't do that. No, no,
Oh
no,
yeah.
no,
Yeah.
no.
Oh
But she
yeah.
was part of the comedy show. We don't do it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and that's real though. That is real. And a lot of times, like a lot of things help me in that situation. I got a accountability partner. You
Hmm.
know, that kind of hold you to standards and things that you really should be doing,
Yeah,
and kind of like pushing you forward, you know what I'm saying? And they'll see you slacking off, or it's vice versa or whatever, and that's really good to have though.
yeah,
It
yeah.
really is.
I remember we were each other's accountability partner on a certain topic.
Oh
When we
yeah.
were
Oh yeah.
do that. I was like, bro, I think I'm finna do. No, sis, don't do that. Don't you dare do that. You better think about that. But what I
Yeah.
want to ask is, how do you navigate your stressors and your anxiety, especially with being a comedian? I know you say that you use a lot of it as material and you're able
Uh-huh.
to talk about it, but if without comedy, just take it without comedy, how would you best handle your stressors when it comes to anxiety and emotional pressure, especially with being a male, a black male?
Man. Like honestly, like I think the best thing I could have did was acknowledge it
Mm,
first. You
mm,
know, because I didn't know understand the feeling or whatever. And later on in life, like now, it's like, well, maybe I need a little bit of anxiety to operate right.
yeah.
And sometimes I would tell myself, because like you could go sign up for too many things, too many tasks to do, and that'll give you anxiety. And sometimes you don't even understand yourself. Like, no, I needed that fixed. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
to just carry me through life, and then where you can sit back and I did that.
Yeah.
'Cause sometimes you can feel like you ain't doing enough, and that'll get you depressed. You
Hmm.
know, so and it's like, man, I would do tasks like that, and every now and then it's like, man, and now like I started acknowledging it, and I'll be like, man, I'm gonna go on and give myself this fix today.
That's that
Go on and get it out the way and
yeah.
conquer it. Cause man, I tell you, I mean, everybody look at life different, and whatever floats your boat, that's what you do.
Hmm.
But man, cause it's coming.
Yeah.
It is. It's
They say that
coming.
it's in mental health. Anxiety is great because it's that adrenaline that drives you. It's that
Yeah,
adrenaline that picks you up and be like, I got to keep moving forward because if I don't do this, then it's
yeah,
not going to happen. And like you said, to schedule yourself for so many things, and it's like that anxiety hit in because especially
yeah,
for a person for perfection. If you're a perfect,
yeah.
oh man, the
Oh,
anxiety and adrenaline is
hey, boy, where you at, man? You be going crazy. It'll have you screaming at people you don't even know. That's where a lot of road rage come from.
man, that was
Somebody that told somebody they were gonna be there at a certain time and they couldn't make it. No,
yeah.
they get out of the way. Yeah. Hey, man, it's so crazy when I acknowledge that, man. And to me, I think it's self awareness, and I just sit back and I really have to laugh at myself, man, because I'll be like, wow, this is crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But it helps me through the day, though. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes, like I say, when you get to that point, like, everybody had that point, like, man, I feel like I need to be doing something, but I ain't doing nothing.
yeah,
You know, so then you go and just do some stuff, and now you done took on a too big of a load,
yeah.
and now stressing out,
Yeah,
you
that
tripping out and
ain't
stuff.
right.
Yeah, so and it's like, and then we'll swear we ain't gonna do it no more ever again.
Ever again.
Let a couple weeks go by,
Yeah.
right back in it.
Or happen what you had to happen. Your sister walking out with them bottles, and it's like,
Oh yeah, yeah,
oh man,
yeah,
do I need? Oh no, you don't. You don't.
yeah, yeah.
So
But it,
with this being, of course, I'm kicking over to July also because this is a conversation that a lot of people really don't want to have when it comes to black men and mental health or men in mental health in general. Because for myself, when it comes to my career and my craft, I see more of our counterparts who are seeking mental health more than our men of color seeking mental health care. So it's
Mhm.
like I don't want to have that conversation. And I said this before you jumped on the conversation of I don't want to talk about my past because my past will bring up triggers, such as, if you were domestic, a lot of women don't think men are domestically abused. They think they're the only ones who have been domestically abused. And I have to bring up that statement as well as molested. A lot of men
Mhm.
out there now, yeah, the neighbor did touch me inappropriate or
Yeah,
somebody did, or yeah, when I was talking to this young lady, and domestic abuse is not always hands on.
right.
It can be verbal, emasculating. I keep saying emasculating and demasculating a man, telling him
Yeah,
he's not and what he can't do and all this other stuff because that's in your environment and what you were taught. And your mom taught you that because she talked to your dad that way, or she talked to some man in that type of capacity. But I really want to hone in on the fact that laughter. you being a great part of this event and bringing the laughter to let individuals know it's okay to laugh. It's
Yes.
okay to be able to talk about those things, even if it's among yourself, but it's okay to seek a therapist. I have a lot of guys who come to me for therapy and they love it, but then it's like, I love how you're straightforward, but I'm beginning to see you like a mama figure. So I need
Yeah.
to see a man. I need to
Yeah.
see a man.
You making them feel relaxed,
Oh
man.
yeah.
They feeling good and they just love it.
I
Yeah.
I had one guy set up there and he said, I can't help but to call you auntie. I say, no, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
We're not doing that. We're not doing that.
Yeah.
But he was good. So when we talk about the perspectives of mental health, what do you do to for self care?
Self care, man. I mean, I do a lot. Like sometimes, man, like taking a ride, like music, and it's something about that that just soothes me, man. Like it takes my mind away. Just say, it's like you escape reality for a moment,
Hmm.
and it could like do so much healing to yourself. And sometimes like man, like listen to rap music. Sometimes you can be that way, like that's not you, but you can sing the song and you like the beat and all that right there. And you can just go down that road and then you just snap back into the nice guy that you are,
Yeah,
and going out being helpful to others or being just whatever it is that you do in life, man. It just man, it's so helpful to me.
you said
You know
rap
what I'm
music.
saying?
You said rap
Yeah.
music. I was like, is he getting ratchet?
Oh no. Hey, but hey, a lot of time, man, with behind closed doors, everybody got another side now.
Yes,
That
yes.
don't mean, you present it to the world, you
No.
know, but man, sometimes just being like that, and to me, I think it's like that balance, that that a person need, man, because you deal with so much, out in the everyday world, and it's so much going on in the world, man. Like coming home just really a blessing, man. So it's like, all right, let me take this arm off and just be me, relax, let my hair down for a second.
And I talked
You just
about that. I talked about that the last podcast when I was saying, men, when you want to create a safe space, they're already fighting just like you are outside these doors. They're already
yeah,
fighting. How am I going to provide? How am I going to protect? How am I
right,
this? And the last thing they need to come home and start a whole nother fight that they're battling outside of
yeah,
those four walls that they call home. So when you
right.
create a safe space and you create a secure place, and back in the days, of course, the garage used to be the spot, but now it's the
Mhm.
garage and backyard, or air quotes again, man cave.
Yeah,
I'm okay with you having that, and I'm okay with you being able to digress and do what you need to do, because again, when you take off that Superman cape and you put on that Clark Kent suit, because that's what I want to see you at when you come inside of the house. I want to, and yielded. Lakeithia talked about that. Clark Kent was fine in those suits, but when I want to see you in that Clark Kent suit, I'm okay with you taking off the Superman suit.
yeah. Just be relaxed. Just
Yeah,
let your hair down. Loosen that body up. Let the tension go. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? And
exactly.
that's a good feeling.
When you can
Where it's
have
like,
that at home.
yeah, right, right, right. It is, cause woo, man. Yeah, this everyday life something else. And now you got the heat outside, so they just turn it up a couple more notches. So you gotta really be on your P's and Q's out there, man.
You got me out here in this hot heat, and I'm out here getting and grinding, and you gonna turn around and I gotta come in this house? No,
Yeah,
Lord,
right.
you drop that cake as soon as you hit that door.
Yeah.
And go wherever
That's
you
what I'm
go.
talking
Go
about.
wherever. See, I'm not
That's
gonna
what I'm
even
talking about.
if I gotta act like you ain't even. I'm gonna say, hey, you know, make
Yeah.
sure you know I notice you. And I'm gonna let you go ahead and do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm so excited. For those who don't know, if you have not gotten your tickets, if you need to know, it's on both of our social media platforms. Where can they find you? Because I know you being there on the 19th of July. I'm ready. I'm wearing loose clothes because I know I probably put on an undergarment diaper, so I won't,
Oh,
no, because I may look like a
yeah,
but I am quite in my 50s, so I'm
yeah. Gotta be prepared, huh?
so
But
where can
yeah,
we
you
find
can know everybody. You can find me at Big Skinny Show on any social media platform. And that's you can even Google it, bigskinnyshow.com, and that's on uh Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok. Yeah, like I said, Google it, and yeah, we will. I will be in the place July the 19th, and man, I'm gonna bring it though. I'm looking forward to it. I'm ready. I've been rehearsing ever since I found out I was doing it. So yeah, every now and then I have to tell myself, and I kind of like schedule myself. All right, you gotta come with some more stuff, man. Let's get it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I love it. I'm looking forward to it, man, and I really feel honored,
Well,
to
it's great to
be a
have you.
part of it.
Yeah, it's gonna be great to have you on that platform, and every opportunity that I have to see you doing your craft. I'm just gonna ask you. It's not football season, so leave Ezekiel where he at. You know. Yeah,
Hey,
if you want to know
hey,
about
they say
Ezekiel,
use what you got, man. Use what you got. Oh man, yeah, it's summertime. Zeke on vacation,
yeah,
man.
yeah, let him
He
get rid
on
of.
vacation now. That's funny. That's funny,
Yeah, let
man.
Zeke
It
ready.
is. Yeah, that's funny though.
But
I
that's
might have to do it. I felt like you said that, so I will do it.
well, for those who want to know what you're doing, they need to go ahead and get them a ticket so they can come,
Yeah.
eat, laugh, do some activities.
Oh
Our
man.
vendors, if you have family members that you're not sure about, their diagnosis. Of course, we're not giving diagnosis that day, but we're going to talk about some serious conversation and some serious things. And we're going to have fun with it. I like having fun.
Well, that's
I
right.
can't be out. Well, how I want to say this. I can dress casket sharp, but I'm gonna have some fun doing it.
Woo, I heard that. I heard that.
I'm gonna have some
That's what I'm
fun.
talking about.
Right, right. So bring the funny. I am so excited. And are you having any other events before? Do you have any shows in to?
No, no, not before. We had, like a pending event, but I don't know if it's gonna go through or not. So I just, it's like the waiting game. You just have to wait and see.
Mm,
But
and write
yeah,
some material while you're doing it.
yeah, yeah. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's what I do. I don't worry about a lot of stuff, man. You just got to keep going on and just hold the faith, man.
Yeah,
That's what you could do.
exactly, exactly.
Yes, indeed. So,
So,
I'm looking forward to this, and I got a few other projects in the making
okay.
that I'm pretty sure gonna fall through. But and I like if anybody follow the social media, it will be posted as time comes once the flyer. I don't say it's official till I see the flyer.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like I ain't just going around putting false information out.
Well, you've been the only thing on our flyer thus far, so we knew it was official.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I said, what it did? I said she ain't even on the flyer.
They're being remade.
But yeah,
Yeah, there's
hey,
some.
it's good though. I love it. I
Yeah.
love it.
Well, again, thank you so much, Big Skinny. You
Oh yeah,
always be my bro. I'm gonna always
that's
be
right.
your therapist. No, I'm just playing.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. I might have to do a session right after I get off stage. Tell a
Oh
joke.
no, no, no. Come for the business. Come for the business. I won't be doing it. I won't be doing it.
Yeah.
So for those of you who don't know Big Skinny, you can find him on the bigskinny.com, right?
That's right. That's
Okay.
right.
And on all social media platforms, you just got a small, I'm gonna say it like they said it in the old school days. You got a ski taste of our
Yeah.
comedian that's gonna be at
That's
the
right.
symposium, the mental health symposium, that is July 19th. You can find all that information on our social media platforms. We do have an ABA specialist that's going to be there. We have quite a few vendors that are coming out. I'm so excited to be able to share the stage and let people know it's okay to laugh. You don't always have to be serious when it comes to mental health. So come out, eat with us. I'm gonna say it again, sup with us. Come sit down and have come have brunch with us. Come do our activities. We're having two activities: the Dear Me activity, as well as the painting your trauma on a canvas. And of course, we're gonna have our special guest. Big Skinny with the comedy. We're gonna have a DJ, and come eat some shrimp and grits with us. Come eat
Ooh.
some chicken and waffles with us.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna show
Have
up
some of that,
early.
come have come have some of that good tea with us. And you can find all the invites on all the information. Also, I have a coupon that's going to last until June 28th, where you're getting a discount on the tickets. So you still have an opportunity. After June 28th, the tickets go right back up. And again, it's going towards great cause. It's getting the community together and putting mental health awareness out here for both the Black and Brown community as well as those who need to know more about mental health. It's your girl, Morticia Sherman, that unapologetic therapist, like I tell you. And when you know better, you do better, you respond better. And I give you permission to talk to yourself and respond to
Yeah,
whatever you say.
that's right.
It's been a great night. Thank you, bro. I'll see you soon.
Oh yeah.
All
All
right.
right. Later.
Night.